much experience do you have with leadership development methods? Hopefully you recognise you are participating in one right now. We will now look at some common methods for leader and leadership development. We will focus on 3 methods which can be highly effective, relatively inexpensive, and you can manage them yourself. These are getting feedback from colleagues, challenging job assignments, and mentoring. There are a wide variety of leadership development methods. They include feedback. Getting feedback from colleagues as we practice new approaches is essential and is part of the CAS model of leader development. Challenging job assignments. These are real work activities where we're outside our comfort zone, trying new approaches to leadership and getting feedback and receiving support. Mentoring. Learning from people with more experience than ourselves. Coaching. Getting help from someone with high levels of expertise to build a particular skill set. Formal training and education. Learning about how to approach different leadership challenges. And individual leadership development plans. These are documents that organise our development activities by clarifying our developmental vision, objectives, and proposed actions. And finally, leadership development programs. Good leadership programs usually combine all of the methods mentioned so far. Let's look more closely at 3 of these methods that you could use to apply the necessary elements of challenge, assessment, and support. The first method is getting feedback from your colleagues on your leadership performance and behaviours. This may sound easy, but in practice it's often hard to do well. Getting frequent informal feedback as you practice new approaches is critical, and you can manage this yourself. A common approach is to identify a few colleagues who frequently see you work and are likely to give you honest and constructive feedback. Brief them early on what you are planning to practice and why, then schedule some time with them to get their feedback on your behaviours and performance. When receiving feedback, engage in active listening and respond positively. Then reflect on what you've heard and identify specific ways you could improve. Remember that most colleagues won't provide you with much feedback unless you create and manage a good process for them to do it. Conducting a facilitated 360-degree feedback process every few years is another approach. It can be a good way to build self-awareness and identify strengths and weaknesses. It is a structured approach where a person receives feedback from their supervisor, peers, and staff if they have them. Some caution is needed, however, as these processes need to be carefully designed and managed. Getting professional help is recommended. The second method involves challenging job assignments. These are real activities that require you to work outside of your comfort zone and try new approaches to leadership. Dr. Patricia Olot, a senior leadership development researcher, argues that they are one of the most potent methods of leader development. She identified 5 categories of challenge: job or role transitions, driving a change process, taking on higher levels of responsibility, leading across boundaries, and leading a highly diverse team. Keys to using challenging job assignments include finding a suitable one and structuring your developmental activities. Ideally, the assignment should stretch your abilities, help you to achieve your personal development goals, require you to try new approaches to leadership, and build confidence. A leadership plan can help you to organise your developmental activities. It could describe your developmental objectives, proposed actions, how you will get feedback, how you will reflect, and who will support you during the assignment. The third method is mentoring. If you are lucky enough to have the right mentor at the right time, it can be a transformative experience. Mentors can be formal or informal. Formal mentoring usually occurs within a structured program that helps mentees to find mentors, clarifies roles, and provides training to both parties. Informal mentoring is usually initiated by the mentee and is less structured. Let's look at 7 tips to help you do this well. First, shop around to find a suitable mentor who has the experience you need and available time. A recently retired, respected senior leader is often ideal. Second, when approaching them, explain your developmental needs and why you think they could help. Third, initially ask to meet with them for a single meeting. The first meeting can explore whether the relationship could work, and if not, both parties can go their separate ways. If the relationship has potential, you can arrange to meet again to address specific objectives. Fourth, at the first meeting, clarify your developmental vision and objectives and the role of both parties. If you have a leadership development plan, it's helpful to share it with them. Fifth, at mentoring meetings, listen carefully and do any homework they recommend. Their time is valuable. Don't waste it. Sixth, look for ways to help them. A sustainable mentoring relationship usually benefits both parties. Finally, consider having a network of informal mentors who can help you, as needed, with different aspects of leadership. This approach is more sustainable over one's career. Although we have only looked at 3 developmental methods in any detail, these 3 should serve you well. Collectively, they address all 3 elements of the CAS model of leader development: challenge, assessment or feedback, and support. They also relate to 90% of the 70-20-10 rule of leadership development. Please take a moment to consider how you could include these methods in your leadership development plan.